I would say today's thought of the day is really very intriguing because it's human beings are emotional beings. We are full of emotions. And that is why today's thought of the day is raising your emotional intelligence. So let me ask you something. How many of you have snapped at someone and immediately regretted it? Maybe it was your teenage daughter who borrowed your favorite kurti without asking, or your mother in law's helpful comment about how you should cook rotis, or that colleague who took credit for your idea in a meeting. So we've all been there. And here's the thing, it's not about what happened, it's about how we responded. That response, that's where emotional intelligence lives. So think of emotional intelligence as the steering wheel of your life. Life will always throw potholes at you. Always. A surprise exam, a failed promotion, a fight with your best friend, your teenager's mood swings, or even the pressure cooker that refuses to whistle when guests are arriving. EQ doesn't remove these obstacles, of course, but it helps you navigate them with skill, grace, and intention. And without it, you're driving blindfolded, crashing into everything, and wondering why life feels so hard. So, what exactly is emotional intelligence? So, I'll say it's made up of four powerful pillars: self awareness, that is, knowing what you're feeling and why. Yes, that why is super important. Then self management, controlling your reactions instead of letting them control you. So you shouldn't be a slave of your emotions, right? But the master of them. Third, social awareness, reading the room, understanding others' emotions. And finally, the fourth pillar, relationship management, handling conflicts and connections with maturity. So here's the beautiful truth. Unlike IQ, which you are mostly born with, EQ can be learned. You can become emotionally smarter at 15 or 50. It's never too late. And high EQ, it's your secret weapon. It makes you a better leader, a more empathetic friend, a calmer parent, and someone who resolves conflicts instead of creating them. So let me paint some pictures from our daily lives. The scenario and the teenage explosion. Your 16-year-old daughter comes home and slams the door, and you ask, "How was school?" And she yells, "You don't understand anything," and storms off. Now that's a low EQ response. Yeah. How dare you talk to me like that? I work so hard for you, and this is what I get. But if you are in the high EQ zone, you'll pause, you recognize your own hurt, and then you think, maybe she failed a test or had a fight with a friend. And later you'll gently say, "I'm here when you're ready to talk." No judgment. See the difference? From a low IQ zone to a high IQ response? Same situation, different steering. Okay, let's talk about the office politics. Your colleague takes credit for your project in front of the boss, your blood boils. You want to call them out right there. But if it's a, let's talk about your response. If it's in the low EQ zone, you explode in the meeting. "That was my idea." And now you look unprofessional and nothing changes. But if It is coming from the high EQ zone. You feel the anger, acknowledge it, but you choose your moment. And later you calmly speak to your boss privately with facts. You also address your colleague directly, setting boundaries without burning bridges. And then the Indian scenario, the mother-in-law comment, many of you would be suffering. Beta, you put on weight, you should eat less rice. And if you're coming from that low EQ zone, silence outside, resentment inside. Or worse, a passive aggressive comment back. The bitterness festers for days. But otherwise, from the high zone, high EQ zone, you recognize the sting. But also understand she's from a different generation with her own conditioning. You smile and say, I'm actually quite healthy, but thank you for caring. Boundary set, peace maintained. So here's the golden rule of emotional intelligence: recognize emotions before reacting. Because between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space lies your power, the power to pause, the power to breathe, the power to choose. When your teenager shouts, or when your husband forgets your anniversary, or when your friend makes a snide remark, pause. Name the emotion. I feel hurt. I feel angry. I feel disrespected. And then ask, how do I want to respond? What version of myself do I want to be? So here's your homework for the day. And I promise it'll be life changing. Reflect on one recent emotional reaction. Maybe it was anger, sadness, frustration, or even jealousy. And ask yourself three questions. One, what emotion did I feel? I repeat, what emotion did I feel? Second, why did I feel it? And third, how could I have responded differently? And journal three ways you'll handle it better next time. Write them down. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. We never talk about perfection, we always aim towards progress. Because every time you pause, every time you choose your response, you're strengthening your emotional muscles. You're becoming someone who doesn't just survive in life, but navigates it beautifully. So let me leave you with this today. Between the noise of the world and the whispers of your heart, there's a bridge called emotional intelligence. Cross it, and you'll find not just peace, but power. Your emotions are not your enemies, they're your guides. Listen to them, learn from them, lead with them. So I challenge you today, commit to one thing. This week, pause before you react, just once. Feel the shift and watch how one small pause can change everything. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And let's raise our EQ together. Thank you.